Appreciate everybody being here. Really excited to be back on the practice field today and preparing for a bowl game. We got the news yesterday that we're going to the Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Arizona Bowl. I don't think it's called the Gin and Juice Bowl. It's called the Arizona Bowl. Yeah. And so we're so excited. It's a bowl that we're very familiar with. We have played in it before when I was at Nevada. My first bowl game as a head coach, we played there. Great hospitality, great venue. The people there do a great job with the teams, and we're excited to be a part of it and really honored playing a really well-coached Miami of Ohio team, veteran coaching staff. Have a high regard for them and the history of that program and their staff. And so really big challenge for the Rams in this game, but one we're excited to take on. We finished up our season a week ago, and in retrospect, just really, really pleased and proud of the progress of our football team. If you rewind to a year ago, how we finished up at Hawaii, just falling short of qualifying for a bowl game, really a gut shot for our kids and our program, and really made me soul search, as I've said before, about everything about our program and what we needed to improve to get where we wanted to be. Became very evident to me that, we needed to do whatever we could do to play good defense and try to control the opponent. And so everything we did, every decision we made this offseason was to help that. And so, I altered our offensive philosophy a little bit, did some things differently, and just put the wheels turning to really help ourselves be in a position to hold the opponent's points down as best we can. And so we'll continue to look at that. I made a change last week at defensive coordinator. We will have a new defensive coordinator moving forward after this bowl game. And our defensive staff, Adam Pittapel and Marcus Patton and Chuka Naduli, will all handle the responsibilities for this game. And I'm excited about that. We just came from the practice field, and there's no shortage for enthusiasm and energy from our football team. We had a great banquet last night. Just really celebrated our seniors. Really am grateful for this senior class. And as I said before, their sacrifice, their commitment to Colorado State, and they've really left a legacy here that will be followed in the future. I have to really thank our president, Amy Parsons, and John Weber, our athletic director, for their support in this transition. It's a challenging time of year. They changed the schedule for us. The month of December is unlike any December we've ever had in coaching. We finished the season. There's championship weekend last weekend. We had high school signing day last Wednesday, and today the transfer portal opens up. Just want to talk about that for a second. I would just advise all the Ram fans and Colorado State fans to relax and take a deep breath. We're going through the transfer portal, okay? And every school in America is going to lose players. Every school is going to lose players. Young people are going to make decisions because that's the way the system is in place. They don't have to ask anybody's opinion. They don't have to do any research. They can just leave if they wake up that morning and feel like that's a good idea, or if they have an uncle or a cousin or a trainer that tells them that they should leave. I just want people to kind of understand some things. We've had some really good conversations with probably our top 26, 27 players. They've all been offered money to leave Colorado State, every single one of them, and quite a bit of money. And so, that's just the reality of what we're going through in 2024 with the transfer portal. So we're managing and working that the best we can. I'm in the process of hiring some more personnel staff, and one of the positions that we will have is we will have a general manager that will oversee recruiting, that will communicate with players about NIL, and that is a position that many universities have. We will have that in place here very soon. I've been visiting with a lot of people, coaches from all over the country, from very, very successful programs, and we want to add some staff from some schools that have been at the very top of what's going on in college football. And I'm extremely excited about the interest from those schools, both for that general manager position and our defensive coordinator position. I've talked to several people. Many of them are playing in championship games in some of the top conferences from this past weekend. And I'm very excited that we will have a new defensive coordinator very soon, and we will have a new general manager very soon. So a lot of things going on this month. We have 3 weeks to prepare for the Arizona Bowl. This is a week our kids are in finals. We'll practice, but we'll really look at our young players, and that's the benefit of having 3 weeks of practice for a bowl game. It's almost like another spring ball. So we'll continue to get better. We saw a lot of our young quarterbacks today. Jackson Brousseau and Darius Curry got a lot of great work today, 2-minute drills against our defense. A lot of our good young defensive players got a lot of reps today. So being in a bowl game has real benefits for your program, and we're really excited that we can get a good look at those young players as we prepare for this game. Next week, we'll really dive into the game plan against Miami, and we'll have 2 weeks to prepare, and then I think we will head to Arizona on the 25th, which is Christmas Day, and look forward to getting down there and enjoying the festivities there and playing the game. With that, we'll open it up for questions.
I know you're happy for this group to reach a bowl game because that was a goal that the team set. But when you look at some particular people like Dane, Chase, Henry, Jack, been here their whole careers, this is what they want, they've strove to build. You particularly happy for them that they get this moment?
Absolutely. We had a great banquet last night, and I think the greatest thing about it was just the players, the way that they spoke about each other, the way they spoke about their time here at CSU. And, as you wind down the season and go through senior day, there's a lot of opportunities for players to reflect and talk about really leaving the program better. And, that's a goal whenever we bring in new players. We challenge them to, leave this program in a better place than when they came into it. And those guys have been through a lot of hard times. They've had, 3 different coaches, a lot of tough seasons, particularly the second half of seasons. When I first took this job, I looked at the schedule, I looked at the records in the second half of the season, and the team just puttered out. And it was my goal this year. I was going to do everything we could in our preparation to find energy for the second half of the season. And boy, did we find it. I mean, to score 29 points in the fourth quarter of our last game to win our 8th game, it tells me we were on the right track to finding that energy. And so really proud of that. But I really got to tip my hat to Jack and Jack and Henry and Chase and all the old timers, Cam Berto, Jay Mitch, guys that have been here for so long and haven't had success. And so they've really taught our young players what it's like to sacrifice, what it's like to play with injuries, and how to really prepare and support one another. So that's what it's all about. That's what good footballs look like at Colorado State when they play good football here. And so we just want to make that a staple of what we do here.
How do you go about it? Because you get 15 practices for the bowl. How do you go about using them, especially with the holiday?
Yeah. This week is primarily finals week, so that's the priority this week. Our practices will move around. Today we practice in the morning. I think tomorrow we practice midday. It's all because of the final exams, and we want to try to get some work done and still not disrupt the class schedule. And so this week will be more of the young guys. The old guys will try to heal up and get healthy, and we just want to keep them sharp. We'll really dive into the game plan next week. We'll do our scout report and put in the game plan and have a normal week. And then we'll repeat that when we get down to Tucson the next week. So, this is my 23rd bowl game as a player and a coach. And I'm really excited. Coach Cassidy's got 28, so I haven't caught him yet. But, I've just been very blessed in my career. I've coached in every BCS bowl game. I've coached in the national championship. Had 4 playoff appearances in the NFL and a Super Bowl appearance. So, we want to take all of those experiences and pour them in. We know how to get ready for bowl games. We don't beat our kids up. At the end of the day, the team that wants to play the baddest wins. And it's unfortunate. The bowl season is almost like a brand new season anymore because you got the transfer portal right in the beginning of it. Teams are going to have players come and go. Sometimes coaches come and go. And so, the team that you line up and play with during the bowl is not always the team you finish the season with. So, we're going to take all those factors. But at the end of the day, it's an unbelievable opportunity. We want to win the game. And so we're going to make practices fun and competitive. And we're going to show up down in Tucson with Snoop on our sideline, hopefully, and get after it and show everybody what the Rams are all about.
There's a lot of changes to college football bowl season as a whole, but the Arizona Bowl is the first one to implement an NIL component.
Yeah.
Do you think that's smart and that some of these other bowls should be doing that to maybe incentivize some of these guys to stick around?
Why don't you share with me what that means in detail? I don't even know about that.
Well, so basically what I read is that they are going to be compensated for NIL, so by doing some of the, the appearances and stuff that are part of the bowl.
Yeah, I did hear that now that you say that. Yeah. I know that the Arizona Bowl's been kind of innovative and doing some different things, and I'm really anxious to see Snoop. When I was at Nevada, one of my, we really have close connections and ties to Los Angeles, and one of my coaches actually helped start the Snoop League with Snoop, and I was a coach that was really involved in city involvement and helping young kids in LA, and so I've never met Snoop, but we have several connections with him. I had another former player that worked with Snoop as a producer, music producer, and so it's kind of like 6 degrees of separation. We know a lot of the same people, but I'm anxious to meet him. But no, I think it's great, and it should be fun. It's supposed to be fun, right? Bowl games are supposed to be fun, and we'll make it that way. But I think this bowl game has a history of kind of being unique and creative, and some of the activities they have associated. So I think it's awesome. I think it's great.
You mentioned the general manager roles. Why is that important, and especially is kind of this calendar right now sort of some of that, but, you just need more hands and
No doubt. I just think there's just way more to it when you're talking about NIL, and now that we're moving into this rev sharing period, it's just important that you have somebody that's communicating with the players, helping them manage their way through all these challenges with NIL. And so for us, the general manager role in the National Football League is a little different. The general manager kind of oversees all football operations, and for us, it'll be more personnel. It'll be overseeing recruiting, working with, our recruiting department, working with our coaches, understanding areas and the types of players we're bringing in, and then also communicating with players about NIL on that piece of it. So there are just more things that go into personnel than we've had in the past. And there's a lot of schools that have done a good job with it. And we are really investigating and communicating with those schools and trying to bring that level of success here to CSU.
What characteristics are you looking for in your defensive coordinator?
It's pretty simple, really. I want a kick-ass defense, I want kick-ass players, and I want a kick-ass coach. It's that simple. And, as a head coach, I'm not going to rent out areas of my team to coaches. And, it's not the special teams coaches' special teams. It's not the defensive coaches' defense. It's the Ram defense, and it's the Ram special teams, and it's the Ram offense. And I'm the head coach. And so I'm ultimately responsible for what we do and how we do it. And I'm looking for somebody that understands that. And but it's really simple what I want. I want to be aggressive. And, I had a good friend explain it to me like this. He said, Jay, you want a defense that looks like you. You want an offense that looks like you. You want special teams that looks like you. So, if we were going to a Christmas party and I showed up in a purple leisure suit, you would look at me and go, like, that doesn't look like Jay. Jay doesn't dress like that. You know what I mean? And when they watch our football team, I want them to see my fingerprints and footprints on how we play. And so I don't know if that answers your question, but that's more important to me than, is it an even front or an odd front or all that. I want to make things hard for people schematically. I want the quarterback to have a long day when he plays us. And I want to play aggressive pass coverage. And I want to run and hit. And so that's my personality. That's what I believe in football should look like. And, when I took this job here at Colorado State, I want people to see great energy on the field. I want to see players with grit and toughness that play unselfishly for one another, and a team that never quits. And so that was the goal coming here. And so that's what I'm looking for.
Some of the players that have already entered the transfer portal have produced a lot for you guys. Do you look for anyone specifically on the roster now to kind of replace that production in the bowl game specifically, or how do you anticipate?
Yeah, we have a lot of guys on scholarship, and those guys will move up and play. And so, like I said, it doesn't matter where you're at, you're going to have kids get in the portal. As long as the rules are what they are, this is the first time in college football whenever a kid has a hard time, he can get in the portal. Or whenever a kid feels, and here's the reality of college, is that college is like life. You're going to have good days and bad days. You're going to have struggles, and if any of us, somebody caught us on the wrong day and said, do you like your job, or do you think about leaving? You probably, some days you feel like leaving, or some days you don't feel like dealing with what you're dealing with. And when you're 18 to 22 years old, that's unfortunate, because most of what they're going through is just normal college, where they have to fight through adversity, and somebody's asking them to do something that maybe they don't want to do, and they have to fight through it. So yes, we'll have players that step up and play. We do have some players that have played for us that got in the portal, and we got guys that have been waiting for their opportunity, and so there'll be some kids that play a little bit more than they have been playing in this game. And like I said, the bowl season is almost a new season for a lot of programs. And, we have a lot of good young players that haven't had much opportunity. They may get a chance to play a lot in this game, and we're anxious to see them. I think a guy like Jordan Ross is going to play a lot. I think a guy like Owen Long is going to play a lot. We love those guys. And so, next season comes a little bit quicker for those guys, and that's fine. That's part of it. What we're going through is no different than any other school. So I think that's important to remember.
When you kind of look across the roster as well, a lot of the guys haven't played in a bowl game before.
Yeah.
Is there anything to a lack of experience, or because you're given that 3 weeks, are you able to kind of game plan for maybe some of those people who haven't seen that big stage?
Yeah, I don't know if it's lack of experience. I just think I think it's an amazing opportunity, and I'm not concerned about lack of experience in the bowl game, to be honest with you. We got a lot of veteran players that have played in big games, and it'll be a great venue, and Miami's a really good opponent, from a great league, and so I'm not concerned about lack of experience. I think we got plenty of experience to go down there and play well and win. I just really want us to kind of regroup and and gel as a team going down there. And I think the one thing that's really awesome is that everybody in that locker room, coaches and players, should all be pulling the same direction. And as long as we have that, we'll always have a good chance to win.
How does the 3 weeks help you in terms of maybe getting healthy, like maybe possibly Avery feeling better,
Yeah.
Cam back, Patty feeling better?
Yeah, it's huge, and we have a lot of good players that have not been 100% down the stretch. Jack Howell, Camberto, Avery, Patty. Braden's been banged up the last few weeks. So it's really big to get guys back healthy. And so, it'll be a little bit warmer down there. We're going to go down to the desert and play, and that'll help too. But no, I think it's big, and I'm excited to get those guys back healthy. They've been playing on less than 100% for about the last month, and so these 3 weeks will give us a good chance to heal up.
Jim, with this new GM, how much does this relieve the duties you need to do and allow you just coach? Is that accurate if I say that? Is that
Yeah.
how you do that stuff and not worry about some of the minutiae?
I don't want to talk about money with players. Do not want to do it. And, and I think that's part of it. But yes, it will relieve some things from my plate that I have to deal with. But also, we're moving into an area of this NIL that we haven't been a part of before really much. And there are some schools that have a lot of experience going through it. And I think we can benefit from their experiences. And so, we're moving to the Pac-12. We're taking our program to another level. And so that's important that we have people that have experienced those things and can help us navigate through these new waters.
And hopefully this person can tell the pros and cons, and tell your kids or whoever that this is how it goes, this is how it might be. Is that part of the role?
Well, he can help educate our players too. Because, you know, the one thing about the portal and you know, I think it's difficult for fans. It's difficult for coaches and players that have never been through it. Really difficult for fans on the outside watching it. But, you know, sometimes when you bring in people from other programs that have been going through things, they can bring those experiences to you and really help explain what's going on and help the players understand. You know, one of the things that's going on right now is that the big schools are throwing money at players at our level to be backups. You know, we had 4 players leave our program last year. They all went to bigger schools. They all went to different schools, and all of them played less. And they all want to go to the NFL. And if you want to go to the NFL, playing less is not good, okay? And so, you know, and it's unfortunate, but we show our players those things, and some of them understand it, and some of them don't, you know. And whenever you have 114 people that you're responsible for, everybody's going to have different levels of understanding, and it's unfortunate. Some of these kids are making the same mistakes over and over and over again. And no matter what you tell them, it's just not going to change their minds. And so, but, you know, there are, you know, and those are some of the stories that these general managers are saying, you know. You know, I had a coach tell me, hey, you know, we needed a 4th string running back. And so what we did was, this is a SEC school. We went to a group of 5 team, and we offered their best running back $150,000. It was more than he was getting at that school, and they signed him to be the 4th team running back. We had players that were starters and all conference players here last year that went to bigger schools to be the 4th or 5th receiver or the 4th or 5th defensive lineman and play 15, 20 snaps a game. When they were playing 600 snaps here, they were all conference players. So that's what's happening. And no matter how you can you explain that to a kid, it's kind of like when a pretty girl smiles at them. You know, they want to believe that there's something special about them, that's why she's smiling at them. And so, I mean, I don't know. It's human nature, and it's really unfortunate because a lot of kids are making bad decisions. And you know, and I'll just throw this out here for understanding. I always take these opportunities as a way to educate people on what's going on. But what's happening is that, you know, you have these independent agents. And these independent agents call these schools up that they know have money. And they say, you know, what if Kevin gets in the portal? How much would you pay him? Oh, I'll pay him $150,000, and they'll go to the next school. What if Kevin got in the portal? What would you pay him? Oh, I'd give him $175. And then another school might say, oh, I'll give him $200. So now this independent agent DMs Kevin and says, call me, I got some deals for you. And then they talk, and he goes, if you get in the portal, I can get you $200,000. Okay? And it's hard for a kid, you know, when he hears that. And so these kids are not thinking about getting in the portal, but when they have these people call them and say, hey, if you get in the portal, I'll give you $200,000, you know. And by the way, I'm going to take 15, 20% of that. And so these guys are just stealing from these kids. An NFLPA agent gets 3%. A lot of these agents that are talking to all of our players, they're taking 10, 15, 20%. And that's really criminal, really. But that's what's going on in college football. And as much as we try to tell our players that and educate them, you know, when somebody's offering you that kind of money, it's still hard for these kids, okay? And so, you know, that just kind of gives you an idea what's happening, and it's unfortunate. And like I said, we talked to our top 26 kids. They all have been offered a lot of money.
Even before today?
Pardon me?
Even before today?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they don't care about the rules. The rules are insignificant to these people. So that's what's going on. And, you know, it becomes difficult to try to combat that as much as you can. We try to educate our kids and help them as much as possible, but it's still tough.
Would you be open to a return potentially with a guy if he was here at one point and
Yeah,
transferred somewhere else?
we would. And, you know, I think as a coach, we deal with young people, and young people make mistakes, and you know, and that happens. So, you know, if there's a player out there that's a former player that wants to be back here, I mean, we would consider that, and we would talk about it.
Ideally, when would you want this gym in place, ideally?
Ideally, I mean, a month ago.
But
I mean, the portal's open today, so, I mean, we really needed it a month ago, but as soon as possible. Yes.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.